Hello, and welcome. Sorry for the delay. Things have been kind of complicated. I was supposed to stream this, like, 4 or 5 hours ago? 4 hours ago? And I've had nothing but technical problems I've been working on all afternoon. Thanks to the Windows Fall Creators Update. Right, anyway, this is Fire Emblem 4, Seisen no Keifu, also known as Genealogy of the Holy War, and it's a very special game in the Fire Emblem series. It's, kinda weird, and you're about to see why. Now let's hope all of my efforts will not go to waste. It works. It works! Shit. Hold on, now I'm tangled. Alright, let's get this started. So, before we even begin, we have, like, a huge history to cover. This is probably, out of the Fire Emblem series, one of the most, epic style of storylines. This game only has 11 chapters, and if you've ever played a Fire Emblem, it sounds kind of small. They're usually around 20 something, right? (21 to 24). Alright. At the heart of the continent of Jogdraw lies Granvale, a kingdom founded by Saint Haim of the 12 Crusaders. I don't know what this voice is I'm doing. Supporting the royal family, the heirs of Haim are 6 noble houses, each also descended from a crusader of old. The 6 states, while still subservient to the royal family, each occupy vast swaths of Granvale's land and maintain mighty militaries of their own. Owing to King Asmer's advanced age, the governance of Gronvale falls to his son, the highly respected Prince Kurth. Kurth has two trusted advisors in his rule, Lord Byron of House Chalfie and Lord Ring of House Jungbi. Granvale's Chancellor, Lord Reptor of Friege, has long objected to the threat to his influence posed by Kurth and his advisors, and has allied himself with the avaricious Lord Longbalt of House Dolzel to form a faction opposed to Kurth's rule over Granvale. The young Duke of House Veltomar, Lord Arvis, leads the royal guard in the king's care and so has little time for the circus of politics. Only Father Claude of House Edda could foresee the oncoming storm. Into the midst of this tense situation comes dire news from Jugdrol's East, so already we have, like, 7 characters and crazy political machinations. This is sort of, even though all Fire Emblems are a little, let's say, Games of Thrones-y, this one's probably the most. Into the midst of this tense situation comes dire news from Jugdrol's East. Darda, a town in the Yeed Desert with deep ties to Granvale, is now besieged by savage warriors from Isaac. I'm just gonna stay with Isaac. Reports of a brutal massacre abound. The news is met by the people of Granvale with furious cries for retribution, and before long the kingdom declares war on Isaac. Prince Kurth leads Granvale's charge on his father's behalf, commanding the military might of the kingdom's 6 houses. At Kurth's side, as always, is none other than Lord Byron, a highly decorated hero of peerless valor in his own right. Granvale has poured its entire military might into the Isaac campaign, and precious few soldiers remain behind, with its neighbors, Augustria to the west, and Verdane to the south, bound in alliance with Granvale. None dare to dream they could ever be threatened. It is not long at all, however, before the people's confidence is shattered. As if from nowhere, a vast horde from Verdane, led by Prince Gandalf, crosses the Granvale border and lays siege to Jungbi Castle. In Lord Ring's absence, his daughter, Lady Aideen, is Jungbi's only guardian. Lord Byron has entrusted the defense of Granvale in his absence to his son, Sigurd, who remains at Chalfie Castle with a mere handful of soldiers. A friend of Aideen since childhood, Sigurd is horrified to hear of the Jungbi siege and even with so few soldiers is determined to protect Aideen and his fatherland from the savage Verdunite hordes. The year is 757, Grand Calendar, and thus the threshold of fate is cast open. Nobody could have known then that this simple disturbance was but the first of countless calamities to come. And thus we begin with a pretty standard Fire Emblem opening of a bunch of savage axe dudes messing everything up. So I don't know if I'm going to be reading all of this. Probably. Before we get too into it, now let's get through the story scene first. We'll wait till gameplay before I rant about Fire Emblem for a bit. Milady, the castle is completely surrounded. We failed you. We couldn't do a thing to save you from them. It's all right, my dear. Every one of you did the best you could do. Please, you needn't worry about me. You must ensure that as many of you survive this as possible. No, milady, we might not stand a chance, but every last one of us will give our lives to protect you, right to the very end. Thank you, my dear. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna do voices for everyone. There's way too many characters. Yeah. Gandalf's army already has Jungbi surrounded. Aideen is in grave danger. Noish, I'm going to help her. I'm leaving Chalfie in your hands. Hold, my lord. Surely you don't intend to go alone. Nearly all of our forces are already on the march to Isaac with Father. There's hardly anybody left to call upon. They may be simple savages, but Verdane's army is still huge. I can't risk your lives by forcing you to face them. Perish the thought, my lord. I was born a knight, and I will gladly risk dying a knight's death in your name. Oh god, I'll try. Again, voices are gonna be hard because, there's something like 40 characters, and that's just playable. That's not including all of the NPCs and enemy characters. To allow our lord to die alone in battle would be an unspeakable disgrace. We shall be by your side every step of the way. Alec, I trust you have the same mind? Yeah, of course, but there's more than just Jungbi at stake. We've got to stop by the nearby villages first. Those thugs will try to beat us to them, and they'll loot, massacre, and burn them all down if they do. We've got to get there first and lend the locals a hand in locking the villages down and fortifying their defenses. Thanks for the tutorial, Alec. Absolutely. We mustn't neglect our knightly duties to the people, especially not at a time like this. Good point, Alec. Actually, that was all Oifei's idea. That kid's every bit the tactician they say he is. Give him a few years and he'll be a match for his old grandpa, Lord Cessair. Oifei's still around the castle, huh? Oifei, I know you're here. You can come out now. My apologies for still being here, sire. Oh, jeez. Still, if you would allow it, I'd like to join you in battle. I can barely hear myself over my headphones, and that's... I can't just sit back while you risk your lives. I don't know. You're still so young. Are you sure you're ready for this? I'm already 14, sire. I may not be battle-ready just yet, but there's still so much I can do to support you. Please, allow me to accompany you. I swear I won't let you down. Oh, there we go. Maybe we'll go with that one. Fair enough, Oifei. After all, you've already spent 2 years training as my squire. Real battlefield experience would be fantastic for your training, but you're still definitely not up to actual combat duty for now. How about you ride with me as my advisor instead? Yes! Thank you, sire! Thank you! My lord, what of the defense of Chalfie itself in our absence? Leaving the castle unattended is risky. Should the enemy slip past us, an unguarded castle will fall easily and spell us a swift end. Noish, I'd say there's only one man who we can depend on for that. Eh, Arden? Hold on a moment. Why me, Alec? Sturdy as a brick wall, strong as an ox, slow as a turtle. Face it, Arden, you were born for guard duty. Ha ha! I'm strong and tough, I know, but you really don't need to call me slow. He has a point, Arden. Would you? You're the most apt at guard duty. Fine, I'll do it, but you have to bring me with you at least once. I don't want to be left out of the action. Right, men, it's time to set out. Let's start by assisting the villages, and then it's onward to Jungbi. And it just goes right into the game. Alright, so, let me get my controls down. We gotta jump. We gotta jump between castles. Got a big map. And let's see how the menus survived in this translation. So Fire Emblem 4 was never released in the West. Oh no, I don't want that. There we go, X. And has a lot of strange subsystems in it. On the surface, it's a pretty standard Fire Emblem game. This is one of the first ones with any sort of, a support system. In this game, I believe it's only for lovers, and in the more recent titles, they've had pairings where you can get your characters married and have children and stuff, and this is sort of the genesis of that. But the way the support system works is even a little more complicated. They do just gain points by being near each other, but there's also a hidden jealousy system. So if you have a bunch of characters near each other of different genders, they have different preferences, and other characters will snatch away the support points. Furthermore, everyone can hang out in the different castles, And that's how you do all of your town work, is they can stay here and then go to town and go to the arena, and whatever else. Everyone keeps their own money, I think. Yeah, funds 2,000, rather than it being a pool for the army. So the only way to, like, trade items and, mess around with funds is to have people hang out in castles and, do all their work there. Good, I can see everyone's movement. Can I get more detailed info? No, that was a later game. Some other weird stuff about Fire Emblem 4 before I really get started is it has a weird abstraction of scale. So earlier I mentioned this game is only 11 chapters, but those chapters are far longer than any other Fire Emblem game to date. They are... So here we have what seems like a pretty standard Fire Emblem map. We only have a couple characters and a bunch of bandits. But after the first chapter, going forward, there's a bit more abstraction. There's usually some assumed abstraction in Fire Emblem where you've probably got a bunch of like peasant levies and knights and stuff with you that just aren't ever on screen. But it's even more obvious that that's supposed to be happening in this game because entire wars are fought in single chapters, sometimes more than one war. Like, you'll just go through 2 or 3, like, complete campaigns in a single chapter. Alright, so we're gonna get started here. And this is going to be sort of a hardcore run. I'm not going to be save stating or save abusing. I only have a couple guidelines set up. I am going to be abusing the arena, but that's because you can't die in this game in the arena. So when we get a good chance... And this also is not going to be ranked, so I'm just going to wait. Oh no, wait, we need to deal with the villages. Ah, hell. Alright, let's make note of where they are. 1. Just the one up there? Alright, so we're just going to charge. Alright, Sigurd. We got Sigurd the Hedgehog here. Make sure I'm reading this right. These are the old menus. Okay. Would have to do math. So I usually try to spread my experience pretty evenly, but because I know this is going to be a non-save scum run, we might overlevel a couple of units. And is there a general options? I'm trying to... Ah, here we go. Knit windows... No, yeah, I want that. Let's turn autosave on. If I can figure out how to work this. There we go, file 3. Turn the text speed up so I don't have to keep manually skipping. And I think that'll do it. Shouldn't need to, You can see all the different factions at a glance. Alright. They shouldn't have to, stop in the action anymore. So I don't think I can change items, no. Not while... Oh, maybe I can, they just only have swords right now. I'll have to check with Sigurd. Also, Arden, get out here, man. I'm gonna slowly advance you. It looks like I need to manually end my turns. Okay, it's been a long time since I played this, and I've never finished it, sadly. I've gotten past the halfway point. I'm hoping to get through 3 chapters tonight. All of the introductory stuff. Get the whole party, if you will, for the first half of the game. You curs seriously haven't seized this puny castle yet? Useless, the lot of you. Out of my way, I'll do it myself. You, not bad for being here all on your lonesome, but I've had enough of your struggling. Why would you do this, Gandalf? Milady, forgive me. I believe Midir survives this attack. Since he's a real character, yeah. Midir, Well, looks like we have quite the gem here, and Jungbi's princess to boot. You're coming home with me, dearie. Listen up, DiMaggio, I'm heading back. You and Gerard are in charge. Yes, sir. Relax, won't be long, and I'll be bringing Kinbaith's lot along for the fun. When I do, all Granvales are oyster. Even Valhalla ought to be easy pickings, what with nobody around to stop us. The kingdom's all ours, boys. Leave it to us, sir. Oh no. A damsel. Oi, quit your dawdling. We don't have all day, you know. We're just gonna casually walk over to this other country. Hang out in that castle. Cut the bridge. I'll have none of those Granvale worms crossing over here. Yes, sir. Oi, Gerard, I'm going back to Marfa for now. You're in charge of the border. Stay sharp, we clear? Yes, sir, but, your lordship, who's that there dame you have? The spoils of war, my boy. She's coming back to Marfa to marry me. What do you think? A real keeper, eh? I'll say, just looking at her is making my mouth water. Back off, this one's mine. You'll have your pick of all Granvale once we're done here. Keep it in your pants a little longer, yeah? What animals? Gods above, I implore you, bestow upon these men a hint of human decency. Oh, what are you mumbling about now? We're out of here. No dawdling, you hear? Oh yeah, so if it wasn't clear, get to work, boys. Our next stop's Chalfie. Don't forget to milk the villages for all they got. So if it wasn't clear during the little history roll, Fire Emblem 4 also has the distinction, also maybe the name, Genealogy of the Holy War, of probably being the darkest Fire Emblem game in the series. While they generally have darker subject matter than most Nintendo titles, most first-party Nintendo titles. This one in particular, given all the massacres and the history and a bunch of stuff that happens over the course of the game, doesn't shy away from, you know, not being very child-friendly. In some cases, quite literally. For those in the know. We'll get there, though, you'll see. It looks like we made it in time, Lex. And by the look of it, Sigurd's staring down the entire Verdane army with just a handful of men. Bet he'll be glad for the help. But geez, Azel, I can't believe you let me drag you... I can't believe I let you drag me into another mess like this. With the war in Isaac going on, there's hardly anyone left to defend Granvale. Sigurd's few knights are all we have, and they're out here risking their lives on behalf of the entire country. I couldn't just leave them to die. We both know there's more to it than that. Come on, Azel, what's the real reason we're here? I have no idea what you mean. It's that Lady Ideen of Jungbi, isn't it? Come on, everybody knows you like her. You just came for her sake, didn't you? No, of course not, you dolt. Really? Then why's your face beat red? Looks like somebody's got a girlfriend. Lex, knock it off. Come on, we wasted enough time. Got it. Time to teach these Verdonite thugs a lesson or two.